And let's. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining today. We're just waiting for a few more people to join. You have arrived at the Maximizing Client Success webinar, How Leading Consultants Use Quizzes to Automate and Scale. So we are recording this, so you can rest assured that you will get a copy of the recording at the end of this. In the meantime, if you could please put where you're dialing in from in chat so we can get an idea of what time zone you're in and just where in the world where you're connecting from. Houston, Orlando, Michigan, Colorado. Cool. Looks like so far we're all stateside. That's cool. Right. Well, in the interest of time, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. So, hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Sparks, co-founder and CEO of Agolix. Over the past 9 years, I've worked closely with consultants, coaches, and small business owners to help streamline how they engage, qualify, and serve their clients. Today, I'm excited to share how interactive quizzes, or what we like to call assessments, can be a game changer in helping you scale your impact without sacrificing personalization. But before we dive into the how, let me share a bit about my background so you know where I'm coming from and why this matters so much to me. I've been in tech leadership for more than 30 years, including a doctorate in aerospace engineering, and I've always loved solving complex problems with elegant, efficient solutions. Since co-founding Agolix in 2016, I've had the opportunity to support thousands of amazing clients. And working with consultants like you, I've seen firsthand how time-consuming manual processes can hold back growth and reduce the impact you're capable of delivering. That's why I'm passionate about automation, not just as a tech solution, but as a tool for freeing up your time so you can focus on what you do best. In this session, we're going to walk through how top consultants are using automated assessments to save time, gain deeper client insights, and improve outcomes, all while maintaining a personalized, high-touch experience. And don't worry, this won't just be theory. I'll share real-world strategies that you can put into practice right away. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go, and I'll make sure we leave time for Q&A at the end. Here's a quick look at what we'll be covering today. We'll start by exploring why scaling service delivery is such a challenge, especially when your work relies on deep relationships and personalization. Then I'll show you how leading consultants are automating key parts of the client journey without losing that personal touch. You'll see real-life case studies, break down what makes an assessment high impact, and walk away with a simple framework for getting started. No tech skills required. And of course, we'll wrap up with time for Q&A, so feel free to drop your questions into the chat as we go. Let's start by looking at why scaling is such a challenge for so many consultants and where the biggest time drains usually show up. Here's what we're seeing across the industry. Consultants today are spending anywhere from 5 to 10 hours per week just on manual data entry and report creation. And that's not time spent serving clients or growing the business. In fact, Over 30% of consultants say manual processes are one of the biggest things that holding them back from scaling. And when you zoom out, the average consultant is spending half of their time on admin tasks, things that could be streamlined or automated. It's no wonder so many feel stretched thin, even when business is good. But it doesn't have to be this way. Let's look at what top consultants are doing differently. The most successful consultants aren't working harder, they're working smarter. What sets top performing consultants apart isn't just talent or hustle, it's how they structure their business behind the scenes. They shift from being reactive, responding to every client need manually, to being strategic, with systems that anticipate and guide the journey. Instead of repeating the same steps over and over, they use automation to free up time and ensure consistency. And perhaps most importantly, they're able to deliver a personalized experience without spending extra hours because their tools are doing the heavy lifting for them. This is exactly where assessments come in, helping you move from busy work to breakthrough. So what happens when you do embrace automation? When you automate your assessments and reporting, you can save up to 60% of the time you'd normally spend on repetitive manual tasks. Instead of spending hours creating customized reports for each client, you can generate personalized professional PDFs in just minutes automatically. That means less time buried in admin and more time doing what actually moves the needle, building relationships, delivering insight, and growing your business. Automation doesn't replace your expertise, it amplifies it. And the benefits don't stop once a client signs on. In fact, assessments become even more powerful after the sale. Many people think of quizzes or assessments as just lead generation tools. And while they are great for that, they're also incredibly effective doing onboarding and delivery. A personalized assessment at the start helps you create a custom experience from day one. It sets expectations, builds trust, and gives you exactly the data you need to guide your process. Instead of having to dig through intake forms or back and forth emails, you get clean, structured insight that supports faster, smarter decisions. And when clients see that you already understand their goals and challenges right from the start, it sets the tone for a strong, successful engagement. So where exactly do assessments fit in? Let's zoom out and take a look at the full client journey from first touch to long-term success. Assessments are one of the few tools that deliver value at every stage of the client experience. In the awareness phase, they attract clients and attract attention and establish your authority with clients. During consideration, they help prospects understand their needs and see how your approach stands out. And at the decision stage, assessments offer a taste of your value, building trust and often accelerating the yes. But where assessments really shine is after the sale, as you can see in the orange box here. During onboarding, they help you personalize delivery and get early traction. For ongoing engagement, they provide check-ins that reinforce progress and keeps clients motivated. And for expansion and upsell, assessments surface new needs and open the door to deeper support. Now that we've seen the full range, let's look at how this plays out in real life with a couple of quick examples. Let's take a look at how one consulting firm used assessments across their delivery process and what changed when they automated it. Michael Evans from EAA Services is in charge of a leadership consulting firm focused on team effectiveness and leadership development. They use proprietary assessments built on the Agolix platform to guide their coaching and provide branded reports that break down individual and team strengths and areas for growth. Before Agolix, their team spent hours manually compiling data and building reports by hand. time-consuming, repetitive work that limited how many clients they could effectively serve. Now, with automation handling the scoring and the reporting, they're delivering even higher quality insights in a fraction of the time, and they've significantly increased their capacity. Now let's shift to a very different but equally impactful use case. A Child's Hope is a nonprofit organization working to improve the standard of care for orphan children around the world. They use a comprehensive assessment built on the Agolix platform to help orphanages evaluate and strengthen the quality of care that they provide. Their assessment measures across 15 dimensions of care, from nutrition and education to emotional well-being, and delivers actionable feedback in each area. Before Agolix, their team had to manually calculate scores and compile reports, a process that was not only time-consuming, but also delayed their ability to create change. Today, everything is automated. Scores are calculated instantly, and detailed reports are generated in seconds, freeing up their team to focus on training, advocacy, and driving real change. As a result, they're able to reach much more organizations, many more organizations, reach them quickly and make a much greater impact on children's lives. With that kind of an impact, it's a powerful reminder that smart systems don't just save time, they also amplify your mission. So what actually makes an assessment great? Let's spend a few minutes and break it down. Not all assessments are created equal. So let's talk about what actually makes one great. You'll see a Venn diagram here on the left that highlights 4 key qualities: transparent, insightful, relevant, and efficient. To start, a great assessment is first and foremost transparent. The client understands exactly why they're taking it and what they'll get out of it. There's a clear client-facing purpose. It also needs to be insightful, delivering meaningful, actionable feedback that helps your client understand themselves or their situation more deeply. Third, it must be relevant. There should be a logical tie-in to your services. The results should naturally lead into how you can help. And finally, it should be efficient, quick to complete, and insightful to review. You don't need 50 questions to deliver value, just the right ones. When you hit the overlap of these 4 qualities, you've got an assessment that not only creates a great experience for your client, it also drives engagement and retention and growth for your business. Now, you might be wondering, this sounds great, but do I need to be super techie to pull this off? That's totally okay. You don't need to be. With Agolix, you can start with one simple assessment, and we'll help guide you every step of the way. You can even use our AI-powered question generator to get ideas and structure quickly. No blank page anxiety. And if you don't want to build it yourself, we offer a done-for-you service where a team builds the entire thing for you, customized to your brand, to your audience, and to your goals. Best of all, it's a create once and use forever tool. You can reuse and adapt it across multiple offers, stages, or client types. And yes, it's 100% no code. If you can fill out a form, you can launch an assessment with Agolix. So how does Agolix make all this possible behind the scenes? Here's how Agolix makes it easy to deliver high-impact assessments that drive client results and save you time. First, your assessments are fully branded and customized, so they reflect your voice, your expertise, and your visual identity. Agolix handles the heavy lifting behind the scenes with automated scoring across multiple categories and smart conditional logic that tailors the experience based on how your client responds. Once completed, the client instantly receives actionable feedback, not just on screen, but also by email and in a dynamic PDF report that you can personalize to reflect their unique results and next steps. Everything's mobile friendly, so clients can complete the assessment wherever they are. And finally, Agolix integrates directly with your CRM or LMS platform, so you can streamline follow-up, segment leads, and trigger next steps without lifting a finger. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the key takeaways. First, you want to scale without burning out. And if you want to do that, you need smart systems, not just more hours or more hustle. Assessments are one of the best tools for that. They let you personalize your process at scale without adding to your workload. And they deliver actionable, client-specific insights that help drive better outcomes right from the start. Most importantly, you don't have to figure all this out alone. Whether you want to build it yourself or let us do it for you, Agolix is here to help. So if you're ready to explore what this could look like in your business, here's your next step. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're walking away with some new ideas and inspiration. If you're ready to explore how assessments could work in your business, we'd love for you to take advantage of a 2-week free trial of Agolix. Just scan the QR code in the screen and it takes you right to our free trial sign-up page. It's quick to set up and you'll be amazed how easy it is to get started. If you have any follow-up questions or want to chat one-on-one, feel free to reach out. My email is right here and I'm always happy to help. And now I'd love to open it up for questions. What's on your mind?
We do have some new clients who ask this question very often, and that is, how many questions make up a good assessment?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So typically we find a good starting spot to be 20 to 30 questions. But it can really vary on, depending upon, what you're trying to achieve and how much detail you need. If you're measuring in lots of different categories, you may need more than that. We do have clients that have over 100 questions in their assessment, but typically those are for really in-depth deep dives into, a specific area. Most of them we find 20 to 30 is more than enough.
I got a question. What about the waiting the results to skew it towards your services?
Yeah, that's easy to do. So for example, with a simple assessment, you can provide different feedback based on how they score, right? So say, for example, you're going to score on a percentage scale, 1 to 100, right? You can create different score bands to provide feedback in each one. So what you might want to do is, instead of having say you're going to do 3 score bands, instead of having them equally spaced so that you have like the bottom third, the middle third, and the top third, you could make it so that, it skews differently. So if you're, say, below 60%, then that's low, or below 70%, that's low. And therefore you need to get, help in these areas. If maybe only the top 10% gets high score, for example. So I've seen clients do that to great effect. So you can definitely play tricks like that to try to get people the help that they really need.
Have you seen people use this platform for I know it's built for like assessments and quizzes, but what about surveys?
Yeah, we have used, especially people already have a membership and they want to do a customer survey or something like that. You can definitely do it. The software can collect the data and can provide the information. So the difference is that with a survey, it's sort of a one-way conversation. You're typically not providing feedback based on the answers. You're kind of looking at, you know, the kind of the answers across the board. And so when you do that, typically we see people just put like a thank you message in and, you know, maybe some other text, but that's mostly it. And then they collect the information and do whatever they need to do with the results.
Okay. Yeah, we're already currently members, and so that's why I was like just kind of interested to learn a little bit of how else we could use it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
well, welcome. Yeah, I think you just joined us a couple weeks ago. Is that right?
Um, for us, I think no, we joined back in March. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
thank you.
Do people use this as a lead gen for most part?
They can. It's typically more for I mean, lead gen, but also like lead qualification or lead conversion. So,
Yeah,
you know,
kind of.
with a lead gen, you're just looking to try to get as many leads as you can. With lead qualification and conversion, you're trying to find people that are the best fit for your services. And so it's a little bit more involved than just getting a bunch of email addresses. We do have people that will use a Golix for that as well, but we find that there's even more value to be gained by service delivery as well. So,
Jen, this is
hi,
Dan.
Dan.
Hi. Finally, I get to see you after all these years. Um, you get to see me too. Do you have already completed or set up employee satisfaction surveys?
No, we don't. But you could use we have a bunch of pre-made assessments but none of them are exactly what you just said. But you could easily use our AI question generator, which is on the questions tab in the editor. And you could say you want 20 questions to ask. You could put a prompt in there that says, you know, please generate, you know, 30 questions that would measure employee satisfaction. And then you could look through those 30 questions and you could pick the ones that you like the most and check the boxes in our editor, and it would automatically add them to your assessment.
Okay, cool.
I got another one. You mentioned about that you can use the software to get people to show their progress or kind of track their progress. Is that what you meant by that?
Yes. So, for example, we have clients that will use an assessment as part of their training plan, like their training offerings, like, for example, in like a membership portal, things like that. And so, but whether you use a portal or not, this way applies that you can. They will offer assessments, for example, at the beginning of an engagement or module if there's a multiple stage process. In the beginning to get a sense of, you know, just where they are as a starting point, and then maybe at the end of a module just to figure out like how much have they retained, how much have they learned, and where are the areas of growth in the future. So there's ways to do that as well.
So we haven't really launched our one. We have a quiz. That's what we're using it for right now. And so we haven't fully launched it yet. But one of the things that we're doing is it's a lead gen. So we're using